baby. Hey.
Oh,
He's giving, isn't he?
he is handsome. He is stunning. Oh my gosh.
He's swashbuckling, but never mind me. Look at this Bella over here, this glorious queen. Well, we've got people. Shall I just let them in? Do you feel ready?
Yeah, might as well. Guys,
right.
We are going to go live with some of our dearest friends, our Pub Persuasion family. And so, yeah, let's just bring people in.
Let's celebrate. I'm recording, aren't I? Yes, I am. Admit Inez. Admit Devona. Admit Hannah. Admit Doyali. Admit Gabriel. Admit Kate. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Admit Monique. Admit Stina. Woo! We have people. Hi, everybody. It's Mariano here.
I'm glad, Melanie. I'm glad you introduced yourself as Mariano because I'm sure everybody's on here just staring at you like, what in the actual fuck is wrong with Melanie?
I just saw. I didn't even know it was her.
Yep.
Surprise. I'm a very sexy pirate. Oh, Christine is here too.
Yay. Yeah, and I'm supposed to be dressed up like Rosalinda, but I mean, I can't hold a candle to Melanie and her Mariano. I think it deserves an award, maybe.
Yeah, is here. It does deserve an award. Thank you. I destroyed an old bridesmaid dress for this pirate shirt.
You look good, Melanie. You really, really do.
You, Katya. Woo. Oh, we've got more. Carrie. I have to keep an eye on it because it keeps popping up.
Awesome.
Well, we're so overwhelmingly delighted to have you all here today to celebrate this one-of-a-kind gem of a human. And yeah, of course it was her idea to do something like this, to be generous and open it up to her community, and want to have you all here. So I am over the moon that we have this happening and that you're all here, and look at all your faces. I'm going to need to do a screenshot at some point when the last stragglers come through. But yeah.
Yeah, welcome everybody. I just figured out how to do the gallery, so I can now see all of your faces, which is really fun. I should probably know this. We've been doing this for a while, Mel. I'm just now realizing you can hit the gallery button and see everybody all at once. I feel real smart about that. But it's so cool to see everybody and the hats and the costumes and just the natural gorgeousness of everyone. I mean, this is such an honor and really, really fun and exciting to have everyone. It's so cool. Especially Mackenzie's got a book coming out next week as well. We're debuting together, The Rosewood Hunt. So it's so cool to see Mackenzie here, and Katya just had her freaking amazing. Hold on, I actually have that book. Katya had this book. Oh, she's got her books. And then also I have this book right here. I see you right there. So I've got books. I'm celebrating everybody here today. So honestly, this is so freaking cool. Pretty soon, Lyra is going to have her book coming out. I think it's next year, January. Is it officially? Yes. So yeah. And all of you guys, it's just so awesome. I feel like I'm maybe talking too much. I apologize. Yeah. It's just really cool to see everybody. I just like looking at Gabriel a lot of the times.
I mean, likewise.
Yeah, I fangirl over Gabriel and his podcast all the time. So it's really, really cool to see all of you guys, and you guys all mean so much. So this is really, really fun. So thank you.
So it's probably going to be a bit chaotic, but honestly, just jump in when you think of something to say as well. We want it to feel conversational, just like a group gathering. So if you feel a pause, jump in. Otherwise, I'm just gonna like ask everybody to kind of share something about Angela. Like if you have something that has like meant something to you or how you met her. That's it. We're going there. All the big feelings, Angela. Mariano has you, baby.
Wasn't ready for that, actually. Thank you.
I don't know. Just wave if you want to talk. Unmute yourself. I'll leave some, even though I'm not good at leaving pauses with my ADHD, I'm going to leave pauses so people can jump in and cut them out later. So please, everybody.
It's okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Okay. So I first started following Angela like back in 2016, 2017 on Instagram. I had just decided that maybe I should try writing. And I think I found you through just like hashtags, like back when you could search things via hashtag. And, you were writing a different novel, and things didn't really go anywhere with that one. So then you started Sinner's Isle, and I remember you sharing like picture boards, and I was thinking that is really unique, and I feel like that's going to go somewhere. That was so inspiring just to see all your pictures and stuff and how excited you were. And then you got your book deal, and I was like, that actually happens to people that I know. Okay. So I'm in school right now, but being in the Discord and watching everybody write their novels and just being so supportive of everybody, it's so inspiring. And I've got one more semester, and then I'm going to be there with you guys. So it's been great hanging out with everybody.
I love it.
I'll jump in. Angela, love you. You're amazing and such a wonderful presence. Just absolutely kind and this like light in the publishing community. I adore you. I think I met you from Melanie. I think Mela met you first, and we've been following each other on Instagram for a long time. And then I found out about the podcast, and I was invited to the podcast, and it changed my life. It was just like the best experience. And yeah, I just really value our friendship. I hope we'll get to meet one day in person. But I'm just so excited and just so pleased that I know you, and so grateful to know you. So
I was acting like I was on mute. I wasn't on mute. Thank you.
I just stunned you with my words.
I guess I'll go next. I will see you on Tuesday, so I'm very excited about that. And then I'll see you Saturday, so I'll just see you a bunch. Angela and I live like an hour, 2 hours apart. I don't know, which is great because I love her to pieces. God, Angela, I don't know. How long have we been friends?
I don't know.
Feels like forever. I do know that I was one of the earliest people to read Sinner's Isle because I read it before you got into Pitch Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's changed quite a bit since then. Can't wait to hear the audiobook next week. Yeah, I just am obsessed with you as always. And yeah, I don't know. We've just known each other forever. I definitely randomly on Instagram and then you know, but I am one of the most annoying people because I was like, so you have a book deal yet? Can I see the cover yet? So I've gotten to see a bunch of things early.
Sliding in the DMs for
Because
sure.
I'm annoying. Just be annoying.
No, you're perfect. You're wonderful.
I'll go next. Sorry.
Next,
I
you
was
go.
gonna jump off of Lyra. Lyra, you're not annoying, but it's a testament to how the book community, the writing community, kind of just has all these beautiful overlaps because I met Lyra through Clubhouse. I've been following Angela since I used to do Twitter back when it was Twitter. But the strongest memory I have with Angela is the day that she announced her book deal. I just remember instantly just crying because I just felt it. And I feel like when you get to know Angela or you connect with her, it's just like you instantly feel like this love and this bond and friendship. At least I do on my part, maybe. But yeah, I love the big community.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, there's hearts appearing on the screen. Like, I don't know why, but I love them. Is that a thing? I'm feeling the group love. There, look at them go. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, I don't know how to do that either.
Go to reactions down there.
The
You can do all kinds of
Oh, there that is.
It feels
All
like
right, well,
a
I'll jump
hug.
in with that same thing. Like, I think Angela was one of the first people I think I followed on TikTok. when I got on TikTok like 2 or 3 years ago. And I remember just being like, she's really cool and I want to be friends with her. So then I was parasocial friends with her for a long time. And I was so excited when she's like posting out her book and all these things. And oh my God, these are so cool. And I was just like pretending to be friends with Angela and then with Melanie. And yeah, and I'm just so tickled that I've actually gotten to be friends with you in this way. And I'm so happy for you. And you really are just like so wonderful. I told you the other day, like when I was like lonely in motherhood with no writer friends, I found you and then Melanie and everyone else, and I didn't feel lonely anymore. So wow, I'm so happy for you and I'm so excited. I'm going to be in Florida on your release day and I'm going to stalk every bookstore in the world and just be like, this is my friend's book, and show it to everyone and be really annoying about it.
I love that. I love that for you. I thank you.
Yes, I see Christine put up her hand. Is that a hand that you want to talk?
No, I was confused and lost. Sorry.
Anyone else? But no pressure, but I'll leave a pause.
No pressure.
I'll go next. I probably I'm the newest to knowing Angela, but I heard about her thanks to Elle Gonzalez Rose, who's also a Joy Rev author. And I had Elle on the podcast, and then Elle was talking about how great Angela is and how cool her book is. And so I was like, oh, I need to figure out who this is. And so when she did her cover reveal, I was so obsessed. And it's just, I mean, I'm sure we can all agree it's like the most gorgeous cover. And yeah, so then I reached out and to have her on the podcast. And when she responded, I was just so excited. I was so honored. And it was just like the greatest joy to get to talk with you. You are incredibly inspirational. It is like so beyond words. I mean, I can't even say, as someone who is also Latinx, to see you writing these stories that we need in the publishing world is so meaningful. And so just I have so much appreciation and gratitude for just the inspiration that you are. And I just can't wait to see where you go from here. So yeah, I'm new to this train, but I am here to stay. So
I love that.
I'll go next. So I followed Angela when you were in Pitch Wars. So you know when you guys do the day takeover for Pitch Wars on their social media, and I think yours came up. And I was like, this girl's cool. Okay, I'm going to follow her. And yeah, I've been following you ever since. And it's been really cool to watch you grow and tell the stories you do. And very privileged that I got to read Sinner's Isle and also A Cruel Thirst, which is really cool as well. But yeah, I just can't wait to see how you grow and how your career is going to go. And I'll be on that train as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I think we're done. I think we're done with the show. I think this is good.
Is anyone else lingering? Yes, I see a hand. Go for it.
Stina here. Angela, you're a fellow Musa of mine. And also, if you can see, reading Latina. Right? So I just have really loved listening to the podcast. Melanie, you're hilarious. I love you. You said cloaca the other day, and on one of the, oh my gosh, I was done. I was like on the ground. I was laughing so hard. I love it. And your book, it's in your book. I will pre-order that now, please. So just wanted to throw that in there. And just something you posted the other day, Angela, I was like, yes, the community is the win by Angela Montoya. I feel that so much from you and all your posts on Instagram, and you're just so inspiring. I love being a fellow Musa with you. I find it an honor, quite frankly. And I'm just so excited. I've pre-ordered your book and I just can't wait.
Thank you, Stina. That means so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I just have to say thank you for bringing up cloacas. I can see Devona is ready to leave the house.
I haven't stopped thinking about cloaca eyes for like 6 days. It was like such a jump scare when I first heard it.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Melanie, do you want to explain What a
Of
cool.
course. Why wouldn't I explain on your party episode? Just in case you missed it, friends, it's a snake butthole. I didn't know that's what it was. I was very fascinated when I found out, and I felt like I had to share it with the world because it's fascinating and because they only poop like once a month. And apparently, according to Jessica Para, it's like a fire hose when they go of like bone and blood and shit. So sorry.
And imagine that as eyeballs. Like, that's...
Of the Publishing Persuasion is educational. It's an educational show about more than just writing.
Yeah,
All sorts of things. It's true.
Do we have any last ones that wanted to? Yeah.
I just
sorry.
go. You can go. No, okay. No, I just want to say I met Angela through TikTok, and it was at a point where I was getting like so imposter syndrome about it, and I just would like watch her videos, and she would be like so authentic, and you're right here, and like so fun. And I remember being like, oh, I want to like be her friend, and I was so excited when I found out we had the same like date. And then when you started like commenting on my videos, I was like, like. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. So I just agree. You're such a light in the community, and you have such like a great presence that's so inspiring. And I'm happy to know you. Happy to know you.
Thank you.
Yes.
For me, I found out about Angela and Melanie through the podcast. I was trying to go through you guys' episodes just now to try to figure out when I kind of started listening. I think it was about 2 years ago, which sounds crazy. But for me, like, you guys are the writing community. I was first getting involved with writing back in the last round of Pitch Wars and AMM, and I was lucky enough to be able to apply, but I didn't get in, and then the programs closed, and I thought that was the end, you know? But then you guys with your podcast and then the Discord that you opened up, like, you gave me the writing community. You were the ones who let me in. I met my critique partner through the Discord. I just feel really grateful to have been a part of this and your journey. I've been watching, I guess, for 2 years, like before you had a cover reveal. Like, it's been so great to watch you. So I'm going to try to not go on forever, but also, like, you guys introduced me to Big Magic. So whenever I hear about Big Magic, I think about Angela and Melanie. You guys
We have done our jobs. We have done our job. That is so cool.
So thank you.
Thank you. Honestly, like, it's, you guys are gonna make me cry. Like, it's quite moving to hear that, like, we kind of started this like out of, I think both Angela and I really felt the end of Pitch Wars hard, and we both missed the kind of, yeah, because that kind of community, it does make you feel close and like you're actually on the path to your dream. And I think maybe like out of missing that, we tried to maybe accidentally make a little community of our own, and we're just like so grateful that you all are a part of it. So yeah, is it anyone else lingering thoughts? Yes, Dayali.
Hi, I'm here with my husband Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Angela, now you have 2 fans, so we're eagerly awaiting our copy, and we're gonna read it together. So it'll be Daniel's first YA fantasy ever. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I found both you and Melanie through the podcast, and I think it was about a year ago. And I don't even know what I Googled that made the podcast show up, but I watched an episode and I was just hooked. And like, I told Daniel, and I was like, oh my gosh, there are these 2 women and their friendship is so beautiful, like with each other, that like it feels healing just to watch you and listen to you and like see how like a friendship is. And I don't really have any friends other than my husband. And so it's really like wonderful just to tune in all the time. I feel like I have friends other than my partner, and you're just such a light, and it really did bring me back to writing because I had stopped, and it brought me to a new genre, and I'm just so excited for you, and I'm so thrilled, and I think you're a talent, and I think both of you are so wonderful.
Oh gosh, thank you. That means the world. That is so special. And you do have friends. We are all here. So thank you.
We're all your friends.
Yeah.
Love that.
This is off topic, but Angela, why are you so pretty? Like, it's rude. I'm very offended by this. Your lipstick looks gorgeous.
Thanks. Oh, my
Your
flower
hair looks fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. I work hard for this. I really do. I appreciate that. But yeah.
I don't know if anyone else tuned into Turning to Story today, but they were also talking about how beautiful Angela is.
She's an icon.
Because it's undeniable. Come on. Look at this.
You know, thanks.
I think I tell my daughter that like at least twice a week. I'm like, look at Angela's post. She's so pretty.
Yes. And what I'm living
all paid actors. You guys are all paid actors, I can tell. Yeah. Melanie must have slipped you some coins, some Australian, whatever Australia coins are.
No coins slipped. No
They're dollars?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was yours.
It's not the
I was gonna
same.
say
Katya.
Angela's teeth.
It's not the same.
I was thinking, because wait, in Canada, isn't there like Looney Tunes?
What?
No. Looney Tunes.
What the fuck are you on?
What? Angela, you have to explain what you're saying.
Please explain.
Maybe my friends were lying to me because I have friends. One of my dear friends is Canadian, and she said that your coins are called Looney Tunes.
Okay. I will speak on behalf of the Canadians. There's loonies and there's toonies. So
Explain.
yeah, the loonies like the $1 and then the toonie is the $2.
Oh, okay, it's real. I
It's
kind of
real.
wanted to just laugh at you and think it wasn't real.
Learn stuff on this podcast. Like you guys said, we are here to educate. Loonies, toonies. Thank you.
Well, if you didn't have a chance to share your thoughts, just wave your hands. There's still yes, Devona, please. I was waiting.
Angela, I have been on this ride for a long time. I got to read part of the book you were working on before Sinner's Isle, actually. I still have it on my laptop. So I've been here for a while, and it has been really wonderful to watch you grow, not only as like a writer, grow in your confidence and like grow in the community, and like just to see like your following like flourish, and like rightfully so, because you have such warm and welcoming energy that's why we're all here. And I'm just so happy for you, and I love Sinner's Isle, and I can't wait for the world to get to read it.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
We have been on a ride. Yes, we have.
Yes. Did we miss anybody who didn't get to say something that they wanted for that section? No? No? Well, actually, before I forget, while it's in my head, we did have our dear friend Ophelia, who couldn't make it today, but she did have a question for the Angela Montoya, author of Sinner's Isle.
Yes.
So, bringing it back to Sinner's Isle, if you could go on a trip with any character from Sinner's Isle, who would you go with and where?
And where?
And where?
Oh, okay. Well, I think this is a fan favorite if you've read Sinner's Isle, and rightly so. I would go with Santiago anywhere. I think just anywhere. We could just sit at the house. We could just go in. We can go to a tropical island. I think anywhere with Santi would be a blast. So yeah, I think Santi. And he's gorgeous, and he's perfect, and he's funny, and he's
And we're
deep.
alone with Santi. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah, just Santi and I. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah, it's a good answer. I adore Santi. And now, speaking about Sinner's Isle, for those of you who have read, do you have like a favorite character yourself or a favorite part?
Do I have a favorite character?
No, not you. Back in your box. Everyone else.
Bitch.
Oh, bitch. I said what I said.
Fine. I'll go back to my box.
And you're literally in a box.
That's true. It's like a rectangle.
I just cracked myself up. So does anybody like want to share their favorite Sinner's Isle moment or person or?
I mean, on the topic of Santi, he is the best character and he like outshines everybody else. That may or may not have been the point, but that personality is just what I look for in my real life. But it's even better because he's fictional. And he's just such a light to the book, and he is that lightness that we all need during those dark times. And like the way it comes around at the end, it's so good. It's so good. It was so satisfying. Yeah, great job.
I approve of this. Yes, thank you.
Whilst it may not be like the happiest scene, the one that really struck out to me, and that one that I could really see when I was reading it, was the dance that Rosa did.
Yeah.
You know which one I mean? Yeah, that one. I could see it, and I thought that was really like visceral. I really liked it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyone else?
Well, I did read the sample that was on the Penguin website. And it's the opening of the book. And I don't know how to pronounce the character's name. Is it Juana?
Yeah.
Juana. I have a good feeling about Juana, and I feel like she's a lovely character. So I'm interested to see the friendship between the main character and Juana.
I love that. Yeah, she drives almost the entire story. Truly, she is powerful. She's not always on the page, but her relationship with Rosalinda like drives Rosa. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyone else have any questions that they want to ask this glorious human about writing or about the journey that she's been on?
I was thinking for favorite scenes, you'll have to forgive me. I had COVID when I was lucky enough to read Sinner's Isle, so the details may be a little fuzzy and I don't want to be spoilery, but there's a scene where I think Rosa is caught in a potentially compromising position trying to stick a man into a closet. So it's a favorite moment.
I love that moment too. It's pretty funny. Thank you. Thank you for liking that moment. Yeah. It gave me a good giggle when I wrote it, to be honest. There's some sea urchins in that particular scene that basically prick him in the ass, and it's really fun. So yeah, we have like 7 minutes. So
let's any burning questions that
let's get through some
had. Yes.
I have a question for Angela. Do you see yourself writing other genres? Because your first book is romantical fantasy or romantasy. The second one, I think, has a bit of is it going to be like a supernatural element to it, something scary? So do you see yourself writing, I don't know, a horror novel or a thriller?
Yeah. I love that. I don't know where I'm going to go. Like I have A Cruel Thirst, which is like it's still technically romantasy, but it's paranormal because there's vampires, and the lore is really fun. But the next thing I'm working on is another young adult romantasy. So that's where I'm at right now. But I'm thinking I'm going to bump up to adult romantasy. But I feel like for right now, I'm going to stay in that lane. I just love the whimsy. But I love horror. Like your book has inspired me. So we'll see. For now, I'm not stuck, but I'm in the young adult romantasy lane.
Are you going to make them dirtier when you go adult? Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Come join us.
Yes. I'll come to the dark side. Yeah. Yeah. When I get to the adult, when I'm ready, mentally mature, my maturity has somehow grown, I'll be there.
Yes. Well, I seem to remember at one point, Angela, we briefly discussed doing some kind of spicy fantasy anthology. I don't know who we have to talk to for that to happen, but I'm still on board for that idea to happen.
Yes. We need it. We need all the whatever that is. I don't know. I apologize. The yumminess I was going to say.
The yummy. Sorry. Just cancel me. Just wave your hands if you had anything else you wanted to ask or say about Angela. As our time evaporates, it wouldn't be the pod if I didn't say it. Our time has evaporated.
Kate, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is like a this was what was burning in my mind when we were coming up with questions, but it's kind of like a process question. If the first draft of Sinner's Isle saw the final draft of Sinner's Isle, would it recognize it as itself?
Girl, no, not
so different.
So different. The first draft was an entirely different book about almost an entirely different thing.
Wow.
I always knew who Rosa and Mariano and Santi were, but their situations and how they came to be, like, vastly different. So, yeah, I don't know how I got here. Well, I do. It's honestly through beta readers and my editor and my agent and Margie Fuston. So, but yeah, it's vastly different. She would not know who she is for sure.
Fascinating.
Yeah. I think I saw Sarah raise her hand.
Hi. I decided to dress up. I don't know if I'd make it onto Mariano's crew. I think I'm maybe a little too stylish. I don't know. A little too campy of a pirate. But my question was there any process of the publishing journey, Angela, that really surprised you or made you kind of go, oh, this is not what I expected at all?
The whole thing, to be honest. Like, I didn't know. I mean, you like learn so much about querying and that process, but when you get into like selling the book, there's really not a lot out there. And so I kind of just leaned on other people, but truly everybody's experience is so different. And so I think what surprised me the most, to be honest, was that I didn't know anything. I did not know anything. I thought I knew, but I didn't. And so I think that was the surprise, was just like always feeling lost. And then I knew I could ask, but it's always kind of like an intimidating thing, is to email your editor who you're just getting to know. Now, yeah, I'll email her whenever, but I didn't know how much I didn't know, which surprised me, truthfully.
Well, I see that like we are down to like the last 2 minutes. So back to you in that box over there with your big flower. I'm gonna leave the last few minutes of the floor to you to address, if you want. Sorry, that sounded really formal, but I wanted to give you a chance to speak back to your people.
No, thanks. Just kidding. I mean, what do I say? Like,
I don't know. Just say thanks and good night.
I'm trying. I'm getting there.
Sake.
I'm getting there, Melanie. Give me a second. Well, I gotta build myself up to be gracious. No, I mean, thank you. Sorry. No, truthfully, like, seeing you guys all here is the coolest, like, most special thing I could have ever asked for. I mean, when we started the podcast, when I started writing, I would have never expected to get here into the space where there's people that want to just celebrate with me, and that are love the book, or just me and Melanie. And it's honestly such an honor. And seriously, like, just seeing your guys' faces here is so incredibly amazing. So from the bottom of my heart, like, thank you just for being here. And I'm sorry we didn't get to all the questions because you guys were busy bragging about me. I apologize.
Wait, were there more? I only had
the one. I'm sure.
No, there was only that one.
No, there was plenty. Everybody had questions, Melanie.
Oh, shit. I didn't know. I only got Ophelia's question.
No, they just had questions to ask in general.
Okay, we'll have to do another episode.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll work on that. But honestly, thank you guys. We're gonna get cut off.
Yeah.
But if there were questions you really and truly wanted me to answer, just DM me right now and I'll answer them through Melanie and I, because I do want to get to anything that you guys had to ask. But just seeing you is so special, and it means the world to me, and I want to cry. I probably will. I'm gonna get cut off, but thank you. Seriously, I love you guys all. It's so special. So yeah. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you all for joining us, seriously. And you're all legends. Like, I didn't expect it to go so smoothly. And I'm sorry for not knowing about your other questions. But yeah.
I forgot to press the button. I was sitting here. Hello, Mariano. You are looking as handsome as ever.
Why, thank you, baby. We do look like the cover. Look at us.
Oh, yes. We look just like the cover. Just like here. I mean, identical. I mean, honestly, though.
Come on. It's giving.
I mean, you really do have that.
You just realized I actually matched. There was a reason for using this because it was the exact color.
It is.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. It required a bit of there's a lot of pins holding this like this right now. But I love doing stuff like that. It's fun.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, welcome everybody. We are here for a special episode where we just talk about Melanie dressed as a hot pirate. That's all we're going to talk about the entire episode.
I'm gonna say, I think I need to introduce this one because it's your episode. Like, I love you're there. Ready to go for work. But I think I should introduce this one today.
Okay, fine.
So, I mean, I'm probably going to leave that all in at this point. I just kind of like leaving the behind the scenes stuff in. But yes, today is a very special episode. Our guest today is none other than the Angela Montoya, our precious co-host and celebrity pirate writer.
Writer or writer? Right?
I mean, take one of each. Take one of each. Do you want me to switch it back? What?
No, I like looking at you. I like looking at you.
I was like, if somebody knocks on the door while I look like this, won't even know. But yeah, it's kind of giving, isn't it? Do you like my 12 o'clock shadow?
I do. Oh.
And
has Phil seen this?
Yeah, I sent him a photo.
Ooh, yeah, he said, keep it on, baby.
Keep it on, baby. I hope you know this wig did not come like this. I soaked it in salt water, so it would be giving authentic salt-kissed pirate because it was like smooth and clean when I got it. So just so you know.
I appreciate that. I am here for this. It's
also, I'm sorry. I think I got carried away with my moderator role. I'm sorry, I forgot. But you know what? Like, people go quiet and I've got like a 5-second counter in my head. That's like, it was quiet for too long. Say something else. So then
you were great. You were great. We just had so much fun. We had a bunch of our Pub Persuasion besties and some extra amazing friends, podcast friends and writer friends that joined Melanie and I. I love that half the conversation. Well, okay, I don't love that it was about me, but what I loved was that half the conversation was about cloacas. And, I really appreciate that, the Pub Persuasion listeners, they just get it.
Yeah.
They just, I love that.
I appreciated that too. Because, like sometimes I saw this reel the other day and the guy walks into his house after a party and he's like, yeah, I am not everyone's cup of tea or something. It's a comedy bit on Netflix. And I was just like, sometimes you have that moment where you're like, it was not like, was this funny to other people? Or was this like a private internal thought I should have kept to myself? So I'm actually very grateful that people resonated with cloacas and cloaca eyes.
Yes, they really, truly did. And that means the world. That means people are listening, Melanie. People are listening and they are learning. They are learning valuable things.
I love that cloacas have come up on like 5 episodes. Maybe we need
our new
cloaca.
mascot.
We
Is a
need cloaca
cloaca.
merch.
Yeah. God. No, we don't. I think we're okay.
I think we're okay. Well, I know you gathered some questions from our listeners
Yeah.
that we didn't get to in our group chat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to start with those, or do you want to
I
start
think
with
so.
some?
Yeah, I put some in our shared document, and then I have some that are popping up right now in our Pub Persuasion pod chit chat Discord. I don't know if you want me to. Do you want me to read one of
I
these
mean, should we
questions?
do like a little? I know you're probably inundated right now with me asking questions directly about you, but just in case it's like listeners' first episode tuning in, should we do a couple of general questions, get to know the author?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
I'd love our listeners who, I mean, let's be real, most of them know who you are. But in case you're just uncovering the podcast for the first time, we are in fact interviewing my co-host today. It is her debut week for her novel Sinner's Isle. But yeah, first off, Angela, my friend.
Yes.
How are you doing? How are you feeling? Where did it all start?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to anything you were saying because I was just looking at your beard. I apologize. And the earring. I just got lost. I seriously just got lost. I mean, I'm sweating right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, do you want me to like talk about writing? Like when I started?
Just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. Where did it all start for you?
So I honestly came to writing kind of by accident in a way. I mean, I like had just stopped working and we had just bought our place and the kids were in school. So I was kind of like lost. I didn't have an outlet. And like I'd always danced, as we've mentioned in past I mentioned once in a past episode of the hips. So like that was always like a creative outlet, but I was missing something. And my partner Armando was like, well, your family are writers, you love books, like why don't you just try to write? And so I mean, this was in 2017. I stole his laptop and I went up to our room and I just started like coming up with the most ridiculous, terrible story idea. And I just haven't stopped since. Like I wrote what eventually became like my first book, and I thought it was so damn good. I was like, oh, like I'm getting whatever awards people get for books, I am getting them. And turns out it wasn't good, Melanie. Turns out that book was not good. I didn't even know like what an inciting incident was. I didn't know about plot. I just thought, hey, this is good. So I shelved that book and I just started learning craft, like Save the Cat, Story Genius. And then in like late 2019, early 2020, I wrote what became Sinner's Isle. And then got into Pitch Wars somehow and like met you. And then it just blossomed into this thing that is like everything to me. It's my life. It's my joy. And I know like I always am like, oh, I need to remember to go beyond publishing and like live life outside. But I truly love our friendship and the friendships that I've made. And it's just been like a lifesaver. Like it's brought joy and friendships to my life that I didn't have before. Not that I didn't have joy in my life, but it feels like I found my purpose. Like I found my why, and it's storytelling. And so, yeah, that's where I started. Now here I am about to celebrate my book launch in 2023.
That was really beautiful. And you know what? I feel like your partner must have, like, you are a natural storyteller when you speak. And I feel like there must have been something there, because that's really cool that he was kind of just like, I think you should write. Like, yeah, there's like the family stuff, but I bet you're a little storyteller in your day-to-day life, making shit up.
Yes, definitely just a good old bullshitter.
Yeah. Do you want to give us give us your elevator pitch for Sinner's Isle if you still have one? Ooh, is that the hot seat? Are you ready for that?
Because I don't do it, because I ask other people to do it and I don't really do it that often. But yeah, Sinner's Isle is a young adult fantasy romance, and it follows Rosalinda and Mariano. And Rosa is a majestic, so she has magic, and because of this power inside of her, she and others like her have been banished to this tiny island in the center of the sea, Sinner's Isle. And every year when some of those majestics come of age, they can only leave the isle if they bind themselves and their power to basically a man of standing, and the king is coming, and she knows that he's probably gonna choose her because she's so powerful, and she is hell-bent on getting away. She doesn't want anybody to have control over herself, her body, or her powers, and so she's like, nope, I'm leaving. And so she plans to escape, and things go awry, but she still wants to leave. She doesn't want this for her life. And in comes Mariano, who is like this recently marooned pirate who just happens to tumble on shore. And basically she blackmails him into helping her escape. And, it's a romance. So I think we know where this goes, but chaos ensues. Some smooches too. But yeah, it's a really fun, fast-paced book, but there's like a deeper heart to it, a heartbeat to it. So
I was gonna say, like, as you're recounting it to me, that was a very good pitch, by the way. Well done. I was like reliving it, and I know it will be different to how I read it, but I feel like the heart of it will still be the same, like it's that exactly. Like, it is fun. It is like this world that you want to be in the world, but then there are these notes as well that you really hit, like the kind of down with the hex the patriarchy, like they're really powerful notes that you managed to hit in that book. So I want to ask, where did your inspiration come from?
You're so good at this, Melanie.
You would never know that I had a podcast with you. We've been training. You're so good.
You
the perfect kill. Should we just pat ourselves on the back for how cool we
are? Yeah. What was the question? Oh, the page. What was it?
What was your inspiration?
Okay.
Book?
Thank you. Well, honestly, like I said, it was like during 2019, 2020. Like in the States, it was so much like political turmoil. I mean, there always will be, I feel. But like I felt so out of control, and just like being a woman sometimes in a man's world, you feel so out of control. And so I wanted to explore like what would happen to what would a girl do if she really and truly had no say. Like I wanted to see her fight through it and win in the end. Spoiler alert. But so I just wanted to, like, I think just life really and truly inspired this book,
Yeah. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was going to ask you the usual one, which is how does it differ from other projects you've worked on? But I'm just like, there's some questions when you actually get to them in the moment, you're like, I'll cut that out. But unless you feel like it's like different, but like,
no, I don't know. Like this is the one that I'm learning from, I feel like. So the next ones will be way different.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Like A Cruel Thirst has been a way different experience than Sinner's Isle because I learned through Sinner's Isle, I feel like, and I think each project you'll learn something new and be better, hopefully a little bit, Yeah,
well, maybe you can tell us a little bit, like, what was it like, the difference between the two, writing A Cruel Thirst and Sinner's Isle?
Yes. Well, like Sinner's Isle was something I just did, it was just something I was like, we had the deadline for Pitch War. So I was working towards that, but it wasn't like I had to. And so I had time to like breathe in the creative space and just live in it and really just try and figure things out. With The Cruel Thirst, I didn't have that time because it was a contracted book. And so I didn't have the space to breathe so much. And so I think that was such a big difference. But because I did have Sinner's Isle, and because I did understand like story structure and plot, and I knew I'd done it before, I knew I could do it again, you know? And so so they're so different. I didn't have time, I feel like, with The Cruel Thirst, but I feel like I found like the good nuggets and specialness because of that, in a way, because I was like, I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to get the words in.
Yeah.
And I could be dramatic and cut whatever needed to cut later. And it was because of that, I think it's a better book, you know?
I was going to ask next, what do you do when you still feel stuck creatively? But now I'm curious. Being on a deadline is a very different thing. Because there's not much, like as I listen, I'm like, there's not much wiggle room. So how have you managed, like, when you felt stuck creatively on deadline?
What? I'm sorry, Smokey just came here with a random bowl.
He wanted to be he's celebrating with you. That was his gift. He's like, Mommy, you look pretty.
Yeah, he's like, red?
Yeah, that's so cute.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Oh, creatively. Deadline.
Because on deadline it would be different.
Yes, it was so different. So like when I felt stuck creatively on deadline, shit, I think I just like what we had on Isabel yesterday, and she was saying like remembering your characters and like who they are. I think that for me was very similar. Like every time I would get really stuck creatively, or like I couldn't push through, it was because I was making my characters do something that they wouldn't do, or it didn't make sense. And so I think remembering their why helps so much, like when you feel stuck, because it, you know, because then you can be like, oh, wait, it's not working because he would never say that. And then she would never do that in return. So yeah, I think just knowing them. And I knew like my characters for both books pretty well right off the bat.
It shows because they feel real and they live in your memory after. So well done. You know, I love all the Montoyas. I would read all the Montoyas all day. Now, I have to ask, what's been the hardest part for you through all of this?
Ooh, I think just the doubt. I feel like it comes and goes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's some days where you're like, oh, I'm so good. I'm just amazing. I'm just wow.
Yeah.
And then there's some days where it does get hard and you're really stuck and you just feel this like the claws of like angst and depression because you're like, oh, I think I somehow bamboozled everybody into like wanting the book, you know, like,
yeah.
So I feel like it was just like this, the weight of doubt has been the hardest. And I think it's still there. I feel like it'll always be there because there's always going to be hard times where you're just like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But then it's like you break out of that and you find like, no, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to do this.
I appreciate you sharing that though, because that's real. That like clawing doubt, that like, and it is a real swing, isn't it? Like it's such a swing from feeling like confident and like you're meant to be doing this to literally like kind of depressive clawing, like, oh shit, like maybe I shouldn't be here. Like that is a real feeling about this journey. And I think it's so like inspiring for our listeners, for me to hear that from you, that you feel the same, because it's a hard journey to take. And yeah, I think it's one of those things you grow up thinking that other people will do it. Yeah. Like there's this like, I remember like thinking the other day and I was like, it's us. We're the adults. No one's coming to fix things, right? No one's coming to like save the day. Like we are now the adults, like living this life, having to make the decisions, like having to take the plunge, doing things. And like, yeah, it's a powerful thing to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's scary. It's scary. Because I think like you never quite lose that. It's kind of the nice thing about being a child in a way, is that you're like, the adults will take care of it. But it's like, no. Did he bring you another box, Smokey?
He brought me a bone now. I don't know.
Bless him. He's Angela's dog is bringing her treasures. And I think it's because she's dressed like the most beautiful cover-esque girl. He's bringing her bones. He's bringing her buckets.
I don't know what the hell. I don't even know where he found some of these things.
Bless him. Yeah. Well, what about the best part?
Like I think I say it all the time, is just the community is everything to me, because not that I didn't have friends or relationships like before, but I feel like finding bookish people is like I found my people, you know, because it's like you have friends that you meet like through the kids or whatever, and you chit chat and it's fun, but there's something about somebody who like understands you to your core, you know, understands what it is to want to be a storyteller, to do this thing. I think that's been the best part. And then random people that sometimes I don't even know will slide into my DMs that are reading Sinner's Isle right now and just scream about things. Has been so freaking fun, because it's like, I think the most fun is when they get to one scene thinking that that's the scene that's so shocking, but I know a few chapters on is when like the real thing happens, and I just like giggle and to myself, and I'm like, oh, just wait, you know, and then they come back and they're like, holy shit. That has been so freaking fun. Like, I don't need anybody else to read Sinner's Isle. Like the interactions I've had already is enough, and it's so beautiful. And so yeah, that's been the best. I think it's just fun, like the fun I'm having, like reliving Sinner's Isle through other people's eyes, you know, because I've read the thing so much where I'm like, everybody's gonna know, and then they don't, and it's so freaking fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. It's kind of trendy to like not care about what other people think, right? Do you know what I mean? But like realistically, in our deep human cause, we do care. Like even if you like, I think it can become toxic and you can care too much and it can cripple you. But I think, and it's about whose opinion you care about, yeah? And I think that's like such a healthy place to be in though, because you understand that you found your community. And so, yeah, their opinion does matter to you, you know, whereas some random Karen who was like, I didn't like it, like too many, I don't know, whatever. Like she's not your community, but like, yeah, it is touching that stuff.
No, now, that's the truth, because I have seen, you know, not that I don't go into my Goodreads anymore, but I did see like bad reviews, and like it didn't hurt because I was like, oh, well, they just don't understand, like, or they just aren't vibing with what I'm trying to put out there, and that's okay, because that's who it wasn't. So
totally. I'm gonna come back to our last questions at the end. Now I'm gonna open, before I forget, the questions that our lovely listeners had that I steamrolled in my desire to celebrate. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Hey, we had a good time. That's all that matters. But yeah, I've got questions here from the Discord. And then I think there's some that we have, but do you want me to read one?
Yeah, well, I don't know where they are, mate.
Oh, okay. I have some. There's like 4 or 5 in our that email one on our
I see.
Like under Aphelios, because we already answered Aphelios, I think.
Ah, it's on the next page. My bad.
No,
All
you're
right, I'll
fine.
ask them then.
Okay.
So
and I have more in the Discord. I have more in the Discord.
Okay. Our darling friend Kelly Escobar asks, in terms of using Spanish in your novel versus made-up language, was that a planned approach from the beginning or something that evolved over revisions?
Yeah, I love that question. No, I think like adding little sprinkles of Spanish was always the plan for me. I mean, I always the whole cast is Latinx, so it for me it only made sense to add. And my editor is always so great. She's always like, add more. And I would only add kind of like where I felt like it was natural or made sense. But yeah, it was always part of the plan because of who these characters were. And I want to celebrate the language that they would, speak or come from. Because originally, like, I was thinking of it being a historical romance, like set in Mexico, but I knew I wouldn't be able to do it right. So I think it just bled into keeping Spanish in these characters, just bled from there.
Yes, I love that. Marley asks, how did you know that Sinner's Isle was YA? What made YA the best option for the story? And did you ever consider making it adult?
Yes. So like I always just wrote it as a young adult because that's how I just love young adult like fantasies. I love the pacing. So I always just originally it was young adult, but like upper YA. Like I always knew it was upper YA. And then when I got Larissa, my agent, we bumped it to adult and made it a lot steamier, a little darker. And so we were gonna do adult, but then it didn't really go. Yeah, so she was gonna be steamy. She was gonna be something else.
I seem to remember a certain scene in a certain boat with two characters that I got to read that you should release that somewhere as like a bonus edition. Yeah. Little
there's swooniness, there's smooches, but yeah, it's definitely not as hot as that as it was at one point. Because we ended up selling it as a young adult. And I remember my because my editor, like they had read the adult version and they were like, because I told them, well, originally this was going to be adult. And they're like, oh, okay, thank God. Because I didn't write these steamy scenes for a young adult audience. I was trying to sell it as adult. So we bumped it down. We, switched some things. But I always wanted to be in the young adult space because I just love young adult novels. I really do.
Yeah. And I think that your voice definitely leans to YA naturally. There's like a passion and like an urgency to how you write that I think that it found its place in the right spot. Like it's just, I mean, adult needs more of that, but I think that at the moment it's still YA tends to be that way. So I love it. I will miss that scene, but I will cherish it in my heart. The next question is, what's your favorite thing about your hero or your heroine?
I love that. I think just for Rosa, it's like her tenacity of like she knows what she wants in this world, what she doesn't want, and she won't let up until that happens. I think she holds herself back a lot because she doesn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah,
but she kind of accepts what she has, her power, and I think learns that sometimes you have to make a mess of things in order for people to hear you. And so I just love her tenacity. And for Mariano, like I love that he kind of battles with his own like machismo, which is like, like manhood. And he kind of finds his own like soft heart at the end. So I love that about both.
I love that too. And I love that answer. Our next question is from Doyali, more of a craft question. I can tell from the first few pages that your world building is incredible. Did world building come easily to you, or do you have any tips for world building?
Ooh, world building did not and does not, I don't think, come easy. But like my first book I wrote, like that was the critique I always got, was like, you need to work on your world building. And so for Sinner's Isle, I really focused on my world building, like figuring out the world, what it looked like, how it felt. And I think like just like exposing the senses helps a lot. You know, what your character is feeling and seeing and touching, smelling really brings you into that world. And then, you know, there's so much like backstory you have to get through to understand fantasy books. And so I think just like giving it little bits at a time, spoon feeding here and there.
Yes, drip it in that's the thing. You have to drip it in like you already know the world.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a balance. Like one I think I'm still learning, but yeah.
Yeah.
The next question was from Doyali as well, which was what was the initial spark of the idea? But we kind of went over inspo, so I might go to the next one from Gabriel. Now that you're almost at pub day, what does literary success look like to you? Good question.
It is a good question. And it's honestly something I've been really thinking about, you know, because you hear about people being on bestseller lists or whatever. But for me, like success feels like a long career, like being able to just write. I think that's all I really want, is more books and more space to write books. That to me feels like success, is just continuing to be here. So it's not easy to be in this space, but it's so special to be a writer. So that to me, I think, is success.
Dude, that hit me in the Feels Factory. Like that one really hit me, and I completely agree. I want to get through all the questions. So Devona, if you could write Sinner's Isle in an alternate contemporary universe, what would the characters do for careers? I love that.
I don't even know this. I do not freaking know, Devana. I do not know. I feel like
I know. I feel
like
Mariano would work in like men's, like a seamstress, like making tailor-made suits that are like really suave and like celebrities buy them, and like it's very coveted. It's a coveted brand. I don't know why, it just came to me. I'm in Mariano's body today, and he had to speak through me about his chosen career.
He wants to be a fashionista.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Perfect answer. I think that's great.
How about Rosa? Do you have one for Rosa?
I don't. I have no.
I feel like she'd have a farm. She'd have a farm with animals, but like she'd be like plowing the fields and like wiping sweat off her brow and like finding eco-friendly ways to change farming, you know?
Yes.
She would, wouldn't she?
For sure.
100%. And Devona had one other question. What do you want readers to take away from Sinner's Isle besides the fact Santi is the best character ever?
Yes. No, I think like just that even like with heartache and so much like bad around you and in the world, you can still find room for joy and laughter and love. You know, I feel like even though they're like Rosa's going through all of this, she still like sees Mariano, and even though she doesn't want to, she can't help it. And you know, that little spark of joy between like friends and all of that, I think like that's what for me, have taken out of this, is like find the joy even in the darkest times.
That inner strength, it's definitely something that I think we have to like work on in ourselves, you know? It's not naturally there sometimes, and characters like that teach us how, I think. And I'm just going to come straight back to our favorite question, which I've been dying to ask. I was saving it for the last few minutes. Looking back, is there something you would tell young Angela?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Like I love that I've learned so many lessons along the way. You know, I think like each setback has made me better and like taught me something new. So I wouldn't want to change anything I did. But I feel like I would just tell myself like to just enjoy all of it. Even the bad things, like just enjoy it all, enjoy the ride and the people you meet along the way, I think is just like just to remember that you're doing this for a reason and to stay with it, you know, don't give up.
I love that. I love that was beautiful. That's a sound bite right there. But I like that you said that as well, like the good and the bad, because life is both. And I think if you can't find the joy at all when things are heavy, I mean, obviously horrible things happen, but like, yeah, as long as you're here, you're still in this body, you've still got to persevere and like find some joy in like little things and whatever. Is there something you wanted to say to like our listeners, any budding writers, any writers struggling? Pass on your knowledge to us.
Yeah, so much knowledge. Just keep going. Keep going. And don't be afraid to share your work to people you trust, to, you know, to critique partners and beta readers, other writers, but don't be afraid to show your work because it's the only way you really are going to grow. I feel like that's when I became the best writer, was getting feedback and learning how to take it. But then also like giving feedback, reading other people's things. I feel like that's how I learned the best, is like reading other works by authors and be like, oh, I love how they did this, or understanding, oh, something's missing here, and being able to figure out what it was and then using it for your own work, using everything you're learning for your own stuff. So I guess my own advice would be like to get your stuff out there. I know it's scary, but just keep trying and you'll keep growing.
It's great advice. It's great advice. And I think everybody does want their work to be seen if they're chasing this as a career, because ultimately when the book gets published, it's going to be all eyes on you. Like, so if you're chasing this thing, it's good advice. Get used to start sharing it now with people. And yeah. Well, what a fabulous guest you've been, Angela Montoya, author of
That went fast.
You went so
That went fast. Yeah.
It was, our time evaporated more than any other episode. It is my new favorite episode, and I feel, yeah, my writer heart is full as per usual. And yeah, I'm honored to have been here for this moment to celebrate you. And you know, I'm cheering for you always. And I can't wait for the world to have access to this book, because I think it's timeless and romantic and wonderful and all the things that like make my heart sing.